park number 5 of this epic road trip. We have Valleyfair, and definitely looking forward to this place. I know it gets a lot of hate, but you know, you have like 5 or 6 really solid coasters, not one standout. This is my first time here, and I'm gonna give you all my reactions after I ride each of the major coasters here. So stay tuned for an epic trip to Valleyfair with theme park predictions. The first ride at Valleyfair is Wicked Twister. Steel Venom. But I love how the station looks a lot like Wicked Twisters. Anyways, I love me a good Intimate Impulse, and I'll be riding this probably about 10 to 12 times today. We got the fast lane. You know, I don't know when I'll be back at Valleyfair. Might as well enjoy myself while I'm here. Just got off the Steel Venom, and all I can say is it's been about 10 years since I've experienced the holding brake, and I never realized how much I needed that in my life until I just did it. We just rode front row. I love these rides. This might sound kind of controversial, but this is like probably my favorite coaster here, and probably one of my top 3 favorite coasters of the whole entire trip. Because I love Intimate Impulses, especially in the front row and in the back row. I'll be riding this like 10 times today. So my first impressions with Valleyfair is this place is really spotless clean. It's a very clean and well-kept park, which we kind of knew that going in since it is Cedar Fair, but I'm overly impressed so far from what I've seen so far, and excited to check out the rest of the park. I'm not going to lie, we're doing the Mad Mouse now, and it looks like quite possibly the most boring Wild Mouse I've ever experienced. We shall see. So I just got off my very first Aero Mad Mouse coaster, Wild Mouse coaster. There's only 4 ever built, I believe. And yeah, it was good up until the very end. It actually had a little more speed because Matt and I have the perfect bodies to maintain more velocity on a roller coaster like this with such a small car. So it was actually pretty good till the end. It just kind of beat the crap out of us. All right, so I just got 2 rides on Wild Thing, 1 front, 1 back. Solid coaster. It's not the best hyper, but you have to prepare yourself knowing what you're getting yourself into. It's full of flow to airtime, great views of the park, and honestly, I really like the tunnel because you have 2 great little dips in the tunnel, and that surprised me. And you actually have 1 more airtime hill on the other side of the tunnel, and again, was not expecting that. Excited to get more rides on Wild Thing, but so far we've done Steel Venom, Corkscrew, and Wild Thing. Steel Venom's my favorite, but Wild Thing, that's really good. Excited to get more rides. Next up is Renegade and Excalibur. So I just got off Renegade. We got front and back row, and I have to say, the layout's phenomenal. But Valleyfair, you guys got to work on your maintenance. This was a pretty rough GCI. You know, in terms of GCI standards. Definitely gonna ride again. Gonna ride at night. But overall, I really liked it. It's just you got to brace yourself because you're gonna get beat up. Then again, it's a nice, you know, trade to an old wooden coaster that isn't even old, but it feels like it's old. So we got 2 rides on Excalibur, and a huge shout out goes to Kyle, who works on the ride. Told us to ride in the front row of the last car. Really solid ride. Short, it's a little bumpy. It's about as good as Gemini. Maybe some prefer it better, some prefer it not as good. Very unique layout. Overall, it's way far away from the rest of the park, so we're gonna ride it some more. But I'm a huge fan. Really enjoyed it. And the last coaster that I was able to ride today was High Roller, and let me tell you, that was actually really smooth. We got the middle seat of the last car. Definitely gonna ride this again later. You get great views of Valleyfair, and this is the oldest coaster at the park. It opened with the park, I believe, and it's definitely smoother than Renegade. So come on, Valleyfair, again, perfect Renegade. It could be a top 10 wooden coaster if they do. All right, guys, that wraps up my day here at Valleyfair. Fantastic park, honestly. The employees were great. Everyone seemed motivated, happy to be here, hustling for the most part. A huge shout out goes to the Excalibur crew. So far, the best crew that we've witnessed on this entire road trip. Again, Renegade, we just had a back row ride on Renegade with a half empty train. That thing was hauling and it didn't beat us up as bad. And then we also had a full train ride on it just after that, and it was definitely a little bit more rough. So that thing at night's great. I love being in the back row of it. I really also enjoyed our night ride on Wild Thing. So if you're in the area, you got to go to Mall of America, Nickelodeon Universe, as well as Valleyfair. And we're going to Adventureland tomorrow, so stay tuned. Thank you for the support and keep riding coasters.